Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Alchemy Gaming for High Voltage, the Railway DLC. We are in episode 4, and without further ado, let's get to it. So what do we need to do? We need to have 200 passengers from St. Gallen to Shaffhausen via an electric rail line. We also need to reach 200,000 citizens in the Canton of St. Gallen. So that's the area we were in the last episode. Appenzell, Glarus, St. Gallen, and Vaduz. Then we need to have 20 loads of mountain cheese delivered from St. Gallen to the Canton of Thurgau, and that includes cities like Shaffhausen and Weinfelden. And then also we need a library in Konstanz. So let's just take a look at things. Okay, so this part above opened up a bit. So there's Shaffhausen and there's Weinfelden. So this Canton of Thurgau will need 714,000 for that. And then just above you see Konstanz, where we're gonna have to put a library. Ooh, that is 1.8 million. Wow. Okay, back to what we were doing before. We do have a bonus for a connection on this sugar, so we should try to do that. And then we also have a connection bonus for Glarus. So maybe we could do, and we have to grow Glarus and Appenzell and Vaduz, well, St. Glen too, I guess. But we have to grow this area anyway. So maybe what we could do is run some type of line into Glarus and then over the Vaduz. Yeah, that's probably not going to be cheap. We do have like a fairly flat valley floor though, except for coming up here. Maybe we could do that, and then we're gonna have to do something with the pencil, I guess, because we can't leave it just hanging anymore. So we'll get working on that and we'll come right back. We're waiting for some money to pile up. We're gonna go ahead and do this research. We'll do worker housing, which will decrease track construction costs by 5%, which should help us overall. We're still working on waiting for some money. Oh, there's one thing. Now we just gotta double the line from Glarus to Vaduz. And we're back. We have our line laid down from Vaduz to Glarus to Ruti. Now some of the hills are a little steep, so I don't know, that could be a problem. We're gonna go ahead and put 3 trains with all our cars on and see if it can move either meat from Ruti or Vaduz to Glarus. So then if we look down and see what else, let's assume we get meat. Oh, they're already loading. Okay, so we probably will. So we need wood right now, and we're gonna need vegetables. So wood is over here, so that's the easiest one. We could probably come and piggyback on this line. And we have our line all set for the bring in our wood to Glarus. We'll go ahead and throw down our mountain on that. I know we just did a little line going around Vaduz, so we can bring in our vegetables with our vegetable car bonus in the Glarus. So we'll go ahead and throw that down. So that should get Glarus everything it needs to grow, because it already had wheat. It's going to get wood. It will get meat. It has sugar already and vegetables. So that should take it up to 30,000. Now, if we go back in the Appenzell and look at this, we're going to need wheat. We're going to need wood, and we're gonna need sugar. So let's see, we got wheat's coming from over here. That should be an easy one. Sugar is right here, so that's not too bad. And then our nearest wood, well, we have wood right here actually. Yeah, we could bring in wood and grain on the same side, bring it into our station there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And we now have our line from our wheat over the Appenzell. We'll lay that down. That's fine. It's gonna always give me that warning because I'm piggybacking tracks. So now we're doing our wood, put a mountain on that as well in the Appenzell. So now we need to work at the sugar and bring it in the Appenzell as well, and then we should be able to start growing good. And there we go. Now we have our sugar in. We'll make sure we're bringing it in full. Yep, in the Appenzell. Perfect. And that should give us everything we need to grow, because that'll be our grain, it'll be our wood, we're already getting meat, we'll have sugar coming in. Yeah, we should be good up to at least 30, really, maybe even a bit more. Because we're trying to grow this Canton, the St. Gallen region, I was taking an eye on St. Glen, and I noticed they were low in the vegetables. So we ran a line in here, and we're going to go ahead and throw that down. And let's see if they're missing anything else. So the grain's a little low, but I did double up the train there, so that'll be fine. Vegetable, as I said, I just threw that down. This herb is getting a little low, so that's something I should look at. Really, everything else is like manufactured goods. There's really nothing I can do about it. So maybe I'll take a look at my herb situation here and see what the issue is. I thought we'd take a look at Vaduz as well. So it's looking really good. Oh, it needs pears though. And then eventually it's going to start crying for this stuff. I don't know. We have sugar there close by. We have sugar and pears. Maybe if we bring pears in the Vaduz, we could go ahead and put a distillery down here. Yeah, I think that might work. We decided to piggyback from this pears way over by Ruti all the way on our line. Not sure how well that'll work, but we're going to try it. So it's going to bring it into Vaduz, and that way that'll give us our pears. If we bring in sugar, we should be able to have that distillery as I promised. And here we are getting ready to lay down our distillery. Perfect. So let's go see if we're going to need sugar. No, it's still saying we're okay for the moment. So I guess we should be all right. We might want to bump it up though. All right, we went ahead and took another bond. So we're going to buy this Canton of Thurgau. And eventually we're going to need this Bradenburg one, but or Baden-Württemberg, but I guess we'll start with this. So we need to do a couple things here. We need to move mountain cheese to somewhere in Thurgau, and we also need to have a line from Shaffhausen. So we should probably do St. Gallen and Weinfeld to Shaffhausen. There we have our line to Weltenden and Shaffhausen from St. Gallen. We'll put 6 trains on that right off the get-go, and that should take care of this 200 passengers eventually. It should probably move this cheese also. So what we might want to do to make sure there's a demand for cheese, we should probably see these guys ain't going to demand cheese till they're up at 40. So we're going to have to grow Weinfelden, and I bet you Shaffhausen is probably the same. Okay, Shaffhausen is a little bit better. So maybe if we focus on growing them, that might be the first thing we should do. And then we have our line from Wellenweiden to Winterthur to Shaffhausen and back and forth. We'll put our trains on that, so that should help us get a pretty good amount of traffic going and should bump up our revenue quite a bit. All right, we're going to start loading things into Shaffhausen. So we got a dual station here, but this train we're just going to put wood on it, and then you'll see why here in a second. This next train we're going to go milk, and then that way we can add this extra car to get the bonus. There's no point in putting that on the wood because it won't do anything. And then well in stop, we're going to go ahead and bring in our sugar, and as soon as we get money, perfect. All right, so now we'll take another look. So that will bring in our, okay, so grain is coming in automatically, but we can leave that for now. The meat, they don't have meat. They do have sugar now, or will. They're going to have milk. So the pears and vegetables. So where do we got? Okay, the grain's here, so eventually we can bring that up. Vegetables is right here. And pears, I go pears. Where's the closest one? Okay, there's one there that's not too far, but there's one past. There's one here. Okay, probably that pear right here would be the easiest one. All right, we're still working on Shaffhausen. So we're bringing in our vegetables there, and we got our mountain, we got our freight, and then we got our extra car. And then we're going to do the same thing over here from the pears, the Shaffhausen. Same idea completely. Mountain, freight, extra car. Perfect. So that should give Shaffhausen everything they need to grow, except for the meats. The meat is the one thing that's kind of hanging in there, and then depending what they put for a secondary industry, they might need some other stuff here. Now we just want to take a quick look in the Weinfelden. So they're going to need grain, they're going to need meat also, which we don't really have at the moment, and sugar and vegetables. So grain, sugar, and vegetables. All right, so sugar's right there, so that'll be easy to bring in. Vegetables is right there, that should be too hard to bring in. And what did I say the last one was? Grain. Okay, grain's down here, that should work as well. So we're gonna go ahead and bring in our sugar in the Weinfelden.
Our connection to the German Empire is up and running. This will make the old men of the Federal Railways Administration get a move on. I bet they're scared of losing our technology to the Schwabs.
So what did we do there? We did the 200 passengers for St. Gallen, Shaffhausen. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to go ahead and lay in our vegetable line to Weinfelden, put a train, mountain, freight, put a car on. Okay, so the one thing left, what did I say it was the last thing here? The grain was the problem. All right, so our grain is right here, so we can just bring this in. And here we have our grain going to come in the Weinfelden. Got a train there, so I think Weinfelden should be good, really. Oh, I see we have some research. Let's see, what's the best research we can do? Okay, let's do this immigration office and the cost of well-being together. I was just keeping a close eye on things, and I noticed that Penzel suddenly wasn't getting vegetables, so we're going to run a line in of that. And I think once they get those vegetables, they should be fine for a little bit anyways. They'll probably need pears here soon once they get up to 35,000. And then we're going to put a line from routine to the Weinfelden, bringing up our meat, and then we'll do another one doing the same thing, going to Shaffhausen, and I'll fix that in a second. I'll make it be more straight. There we go.
Such bustling activity in the Alpine foothills. We've done a good job.
Nice. What have we accomplished there? Okay, the 200,000 citizens in the Canton of St. Gallen. Perfect. That works good. I was just checking in to see if my meat train is going to go in a straighter fashion. Yep, that's good. Let's look in and see how much more do we need before these guys will start demanding mountain cheese. 40,000. We're at 35. We're going to need, oh, vegetables are coming. They're just slow. Pears are slow. Once that comes in, we'll start growing again. We already have our immigration office. Weinfelden has everything it needs. Just see, that's on the way, that's on the way, that's on the way. Yeah, Weinfelden, but they're super low, so they're going to take a while to grow. Now, something else we had to do was we had to put a library in Konstanz. See, Konstanz is right here in Baden-Württemberg, so we're going to have to buy that. 2.3 million, that is a ton of money. So in order to put a library in here, we're going to have to grow this as well. So library needs 50,000, so we're going to need to put a station in and start working on this. And then we have our line from Weinfelden to Konstanz to Shaffhausen. We'll put our 6 trains on that with our wagons. We'll just go full express, and we'll bring our freight up separately. Now we have our sugar coming up to Konstanz. We got our train on that. We'll make sure we load it up full. Then we're going to go ahead and bring our wood in. We'll load that full. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and put a train specifically for milk. We'll load that full. We'll throw our extra wagon on for a bonus. Awesome. Okay, so now if we look at Konstanz, we've got our wood. I guess it was already there, but that's fine. We're gonna have our wood, our sugar, our milk. So we're left with, we need meat to get up there, and we have vegetables and fruit. So our meat, I think, would be simple enough. Let's go Ruti the Konstanz, and yeah, we'll just do this little thing right here. That'll make that better, and we'll go ahead and put that full. I think we'll just go 1, but we will make it just free. Perfect. Yeah, we'll let you do that, and I'll go ahead and fix that line. And now we have our vegetable coming in full with our extra bonus car into Konstanz, so that'll help. And then the last thing we'll need to go down is get some hair, and we'll do the same thing, fill it up, train, make sure we have a freight, extra bonus car, golden. I just happen to look at St. Gallen here, and it's at a growth impasse. It needs university to grow, so we'll go ahead and throw that down. It also has an open industry slot, but I'm really not sure what to do with it. What is this called? A cheese fondue factory, because all it needs is cheese, which I'm already making cheese. I'll have to bump up what I'm making for cheese, possibly. And then what we should do is Ruti. We should buy their cheese fondue factory, slam it down, and then put a salted meat or canned meat, whatever it's called, in there. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to buy this cheese fondue factory, and then we're going to blow it up, and then we're going to put in a dried meat factory. So we're going to need 660,000 for that. We got our dried meat factory down, so now we're going to bring in salt because that's needed, and we have lots of meat already, so that should be good. The other thing we could do is something up here in Shaffhausen. Almost thinking maybe wood makes sense here, because there is wood really close by. I think we will do this. We'll go with a sawmill, and that way after the sawmill we could do paper after that, but we'll start with the sawmill, and we'll run that in. That'll help it grow as well. And then we have our line from our wood into Shaffhausen, so we're going to put 2 trains on that, and then we'll make sure Shaffhausen has a maintenance depot too. And then we have our line from Konstanz to Frederikshavn to Ravensburg and back again, all express. And we have a line going from St. Gallen to Frederikshavn, 4 trains on that. And then we have our Weinfelden over the Frederikshavn, 4 trains on that, all automatic. And just to finish up this northeast area here, we're going to go Allendorf to Ravensburg with 4 trains. We'll leave it automatic, but neither one's making anything, so we'll just leave it that way for now. Now I think we'll go to the southwest and buy Canton of Lucerne. And I'm thinking we'll put maybe a second station in Zug and go Zug, Lucerne, Sarnen, and then maybe see how that goes. And we may have to do a Lucerne, Altdorf up to Zug, possibly. And I'm thinking we'll put our maintenance in Lucerne. Then we have our Zig to Lucerne, the Sarnen line and back again. And here we are down in the Canton of Lucerne again. So we have our line from Zig to Altdorf to Lucerne and back again, all automatic with our 6 trains. And so that should bring us a bit more revenue, I would say. And I see Konstanz has industry slot open. We're going to go ahead and put a paper mill down. They're not going to need that, but we could easily ship that over to St. Gallen, for instance. Let's see, what can we do with some research? In-service training? All right, we'll take that for 200. And we're just working a bit more on the west here. We got our Shaffhausen over the Uhlingen to Waldstadt, down the Zurich and back again with our A trains, all automatic. And then we have Glarus coming down the Altdorf, back again. We'll put 4 trains on that. Now we're up in the north a little bit. So we have a line from Konstanz to Tuttlingen to Shaffhausen. 6 trains, all express on that. And we see that Konstanz has grown just enough to be able to put a library in. We'll go ahead and stick in our library.
Southern Germany is experiencing an economic upswing thanks to our transport business. Maybe this will convince these conservative old men at the Federal Railways.
Perfect. So we got our library. So the last thing is our cheese from basically St. Gallen to Shaffhausen. That's going a little bit slower than I was hoping it would. We're waiting for our cheese to go into Shaffhausen. Okay, we're going to bring a whole bunch of stuff in the Friedrichshafen. We're going to bring in our vegetables. We'll go ahead and put our 1 mountain train on there with our car. Then we're going to bring in our sugar. Do the same thing, make sure it's full. Don't need any special trains or cars there. Then we're gonna go bring in our wood, same idea. And then last but not least, we'll bring in our grain. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that should allow Friedrichshafen to grow because it's making meat itself. And so it should be good right up to like 30,000. We went ahead and put a cloth factory in the Ravensburg. So we're going to bring in our wool on that train there. Then we're going to build up Ravensburg a bit. So we're going to bring in our vegetables and we got our special train car on that. We're going to bring in our sugar, even though there is sugar close there, but why not bring this one in? And then we're going to bring in our wood. We'll bring that in full. And then we're going to bring in our wheat, because why not? And that should allow Ravensburg to grow up to 30,000 plus as well. Now we have meat getting made in Friedrichshafen. Ravensburg's making cloth, so we may as well make beer in Allendorf. So we'll go ahead and put a beer factory down. And I already ran in all my lines with all my goods coming in here with 2 grain cars instead of just 1. And while we're waiting for this cheese, we've been just working on Tuttlingen, and we're bringing in the last thing right now, the vegetables, and that should have it doing good. We also put a meat factory in so we can ship some meat down to Shaffhausen because they're getting a little low on meat.
See? I told you. Germans do love their cheese. Liechtenstein, Eastern Switzerland, even Germany. No matter where we go, growth follows. Our dear fellows over at the Swiss Federal Railways noticed our connection to Germany, and now they want a piece of the cake too. They asked us to electrify the easternmost canton of Graubünden. This means we will have to build through the canyons and valleys of the Greißen Alps. It will be difficult to lay tracks on the steep inclines, but it has to be done to connect the mountain villages. Besides, there are lots of rural businesses there, whose goods we can transport to the cities. We've already electrified big chunks of the Swiss rail network. I think we're qualified to expand that to all of Switzerland.
Okay, so we did, the last thing there was 20 loads of mountain cheese. So we did quite a bit this time around. We have express lines or automatic lines like everywhere, basically. Everywhere we could have at the moment. Then we built up, Aldendorf's growing, Ravensburg's growing, Friedrichshafen's growing, Konstanz growing, Tuttingen's growing, Shaffhausen's growing, still got Zurich growing, Winterthur's kind of stuck at 95, Ruti's growing, Zig's growing, St. Glenn's stuck at 107,000, Appenzel's growing, Badoo's is stuck at 80, Glarus is at 42. These ones here I didn't mess with too much, and we have quite a bit of income coming in, and as you can see, we owe nothing. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, come back and watch another great video of Ike and Me Gaming.